Fair use, fair use. Fair use, fair use.
Hey, so I wasn't going to address this at all in the slightest because it's quite literally the silliest thing that I've ever seen or heard, and it just seems to be one person trying their damnedest to pester me on all of my social media platforms through ghost accounts. But they're trying so hard to start this one particular rumor. I'm beginning to think it's the feds and that this is their new version of trying to discredit Black voices. So yeah, somebody has commented on my threads, on my Instagram, on my TikToks, on my Facebook even. I feel like there was something else. Maybe even YouTube, talking about she only dates white men. She's another one of those Black activists that only dates white men. And just to set the record straight, I love me a trapping ass, dark skinned country ass, got it out of the mud, old thug 6'1", whatever the hell else Gorilla said ass. Haven't dated a white boy since 7th grade, and I immediately reneged on the yes that I gave when he asked me to be his girlfriend. Immediately. But even if I did, this brings me to the Nicolandria situation that I'll probably be talking about tomorrow in the parking lot. But y'all hate for Black women to be loved on. We can't win, because it's hard out here for us to win the affections. And win is such a crazy word. I hate that we have to say it. But it's hard out here for us to find a match. That's a Black man, period. And so when some women find a white man, you do all of this work to discredit that love or even discredit her work because she's being loved by a white man. When in fact, the reality is Black women who do find white men attractive and can do that sort of whatever, what have you, they be loving us down because they're obsessed. They're obsessed with us culturally. But we do shit they've never seen before and their minds are blown. They appreciate us in far larger capacities than Black men can. And in a lot of instances, because Black men are so close to our sacrifice and so desensitized to our sacrifice that a lot of times it gets trifled over and trampled on and all the things. So yeah, I like Negroes with nostrils exclusively. And I actually did a whole episode about interracial dating from both perspectives on my show, The People's Break, that you can watch on Revolt, streaming right now for the free ski. Yeah. But when it comes to me and mines, I like Black men exclusively. It's just a preference. And unfortunately, I've got to play the hand I've been dealt.
If you want to date outside of your race, you need to be disciplined. When they say we're going to the gym at 5:30 in the morning, you better be up at 5 o'clock getting ready. They are not going to deal with the lack of discipline. And what we make Black men put up with, they are not going to go for that. And what we make Black men put up with, they are not going to go for that. What we make Black men put up with, they are not going to go for that.
I'm speaking on the behalf of all white dudes that date Black girls.
Can y'all stop fucking calling us massa?
What the fuck do I... You know what you're doing. What the fuck am I supposed to say? And y'all be thinking it's funny as shit. You be laughing your ass off, having the time of your life. Girl, fuck you.
I want Black women to have a lot more self-respect than they do now. Kind of just like worshiping white guys. Worshiping white guys. Worshiping white guys.
She had a weird conversation with me. Like 2 months into us dating, it made me think that she had some different motives to dating me. Made me uncomfortable. She was like, Jeff, I'm happy to finally be with a white man. Black dudes, you can't trust them. They're just gonna cheat on you. They ain't. You know how uncomfortable you feel right now? Imagine how I felt. This is in real life for me. This is just a story for you. I felt uncomfortable as shit. I didn't know what to do. So I talked to a Black friend of mine. His name's Josh. I was like, Josh, told him the whole story. He's like, Jeff, I'll tell you what you got to do, but you might not like it. I'm like, all right, let me have it. He's like, Jeff, for the culture, you got to cheat on that. That's what...
I miss when men used to protect, provide, and shut up.
Said if you are broke and I choose to deal with you, I will belittle you. It is what it is.
I'm not submitting to no man that expect me to go 50-50. You want your wife to bear your children, cook, clean, work enough hours to handle big bills, and take care of you? You expecting me to pay big bills, baby? I'm gonna want some bussy when I get off of work. Fuck is you talking about? Bend that ass over. Let that bussy breathe. This what you wanted, right? 50-50, right? And I do mean assume the position when I get off of work. As soon as I get off of work, that ass better be tooted up. As he get up off me, I'm gonna look at him like, my turn. My turn. I'm making this as a PSA to any man that ever thought he had a chance with me or any man that wants a chance with me. If you like 50-50, stay where you're at, baby, because this mouth is only gonna get more egregious. I promise you that. I'm paying these big bills and you think I'm not about to be talking to you out the side of my mouth? Watch this. Watch this.
What if Black women were supposed to be the leaders and Black men are just supposed to protect with their muscles and use their listening ears and carry out instructions?
As a man, if you don't have house core job, don't look for a woman with house core job. And for the men that complain about women that do that, look for a man that has all three and they don't have all three. We can do that. We are women. You want us. You need us. Y'all want one thing from us. And mad because we boss y'all around because you're a fucking servant. You're a provider, right? You're a protector, right? You're a security guard and you're a goddamn assistant. Know your place. Stop being contradicting. And bow down. Because I'm sick of it.
Miss Lene Vanille. Oh boy. So for those of you that are just getting in, Lene, yes, that was the one off of was it called The People's Brief that had Deontay up there, and black women and their double standards when it comes to dating out, and the white men love us down. So Lene says she's never dated. I don't count seventh grade unless y'all were doing something. Unless y'all was yanning it in. Okay, fine, you haven't dated a white man, right? I don't count seventh grade. I'll let you slide on that one. So you have never dated a white man, but you still made excuses for your sister, and your double standard was very, very clear. Once again, for those of you who missed it earlier, here we go.
Hey, so I wasn't going to address this at all in the slightest because it's quite literally the silliest thing that I've ever seen or heard, and it just seems to be one person trying their damnedest to pester me on all of my social media platforms through ghost accounts. But they're trying so hard to start this one particular rumor. I'm beginning to think it's the feds, and that this is their new version of trying to discredit black voices. So yeah, somebody has commented on my threads, on my Instagram, on my TikToks, on my Facebook even. I feel like there was something else. Maybe even YouTube talking about she only dates white men. She's another one of those black activists that only dates white men. And just to set the record straight, I love me a trapping ass, dark skinned country ass, got it out of the mud, old thug 6'1", whatever the hell else gorilla said ass. Haven't dated a white boy since 7th grade, and I immediately reneged on the yes that I gave when he asked me to be his girlfriend. Immediately. But even if I did, this brings me to the Nicolandria situation that I'll probably be talking about tomorrow in the parking lot. But y'all hate for black women to be loved on. We can't win, because it's hard out here for us to win the affections. And win is such a crazy word. I hate that we have to say it. But it's hard out here for us to find a match. That's a black man, period. And so when some women find a white man, you do all of this work to discredit that love or even discredit her work because she's being loved by a white man. When in fact, the reality is black women who do find white men attractive and can do that sort of whatever, what have you, they be loving us down because they're obsessed. They're obsessed with us culturally. But we do shit they've never seen before and their minds are blown. They appreciate us in far larger capacities than black men can. And in a lot of instances, because black men are so close to our sacrifice and so desensitized to our sacrifice that a lot of times it gets trifled over and trampled on and all the things. So yeah, I like Negroes with nostrils exclusively. And I actually did a whole episode about interracial dating from both perspectives on my show, The People's Brief, that you can watch on Revolt, streaming right now for the free ski. Yeah. But when it comes to me and mines, I like black men exclusively. It's just a preference. And
To Miss Lene, it wasn't from both perspectives. Y'all bought on Deontay because Deontay sounds like Deontay. It wasn't from both perspectives, ma'am. Look, we have a hand-picked Negro in us, and he's saying the same thing. He's cooperating with what we say, so it's both perspectives. Oh, Miss Lene. Miss Lene. I know y'all, I know, like you said, we don't have the capacity. We lack the capacity. We're slow. We're slow on the uptake, right?
So we don't have the capacity.
The white men in a white supremacist hegemonic society, they have the capacity, but not black men. Black men don't appreciate black women's sacrifices, but the white men that the black women choose, they do. Okay, yeah, that's it. Miss Lene Vanille, what black women have to grapple with, that y'all have never had to grapple with, is you'll no longer are able to hold black men hostage in the black community, number one. Number two, black men do not buy into the moral high ground of black women. Ooh, goddamn, I know that hurt. You could drag on Deontay, y'all could drag on FD Signifier, y'all could drag on Foreign Man in a Foreign Land. I seen you, I checked out your channel, I see you, we're chilling with Conscious Lee, y'all could drag on Conscious Lee. Y'all, and they could sass us and belittle us and berate us and mock us and make fun of us. And guess what? What does that benefit black women any? Does that benefit black women in any way? Miss Lene Vanille, black men do not buy into And an increasing amount of black men just simply do not buy into the idea that when black men date out because black men are colorist, black men are featurist, black men don't appreciate black women, right? Texturist, featurist, colorist, right? Black women, on the other hand, when they date out and definitely when they marry out, it's because they had no choice, you see, right? And it's love. No such thing as racial hypergamy. Appreciate this. When you believe that you are morally superior to everyone else do things out of self-interest. You're the only one who's selfless. Everyone else is selfish, unless they kiss in your ass, of course. Everyone else is selfish and self-interested. Black men are selfish and self-interested. White women are selfish and self-interested. White men are selfish and self-interested, unless, of course, he ends up with a black woman. Then he's selfless. Then he gets it. Then he's invited to the cookout, right? Latinos are selfish and self-interested, of course, unless they ally themselves with black women. Then they get it. Latinas, same difference. East Asian, Southeast Asian, same difference. Indigenous, same difference. This is what happens when you have this glaring blind spot because you believe you're morally superior to everyone else. And I'm saying this about black women, Miss Lene, not just you specifically. That moral high ground means that black men who aren't kissing and bowing are some type of sexist, misogynistic, misogynorous assholes, don't you know? Huh? You really sat there and discounted black men. Black men, just because we're so close to the struggle of black women, we don't really appreciate black women. But the white men, they be loving us down. She got real close to saying that worship thing because black women love telling you how white men worship them. Huh? So let me get this right. Everyone else in this society has been affected by the European beauty standard and aspire to be with white folks. That's men of color aspiring to be with white women. That's women of color aspiring to be with white men, except for black women, of course. That doesn't apply to black women. If you see a black woman with a white man, he chased after her and he had to convince her to leave because she's so in love with black men. He had to chase after her and convince her and get on a bended knee and beg. Huh? Or the other choice is that she had no choice, don't you see? She's a darker skinned black woman and she had no choice. Black men didn't value her. Black men didn't find her attractive. And here comes some white man who sees the beauty in her. He sees the value in her. Huh? The humanitarian spirit in her. The civil rights activist in her. Right? And he helps to cultivate that. And then they fall in love. Oh. Huh? Unlike black men, see, black men and white women, that's because black men be chasing and ooh, Miss Ann, I'll do anything for you, Miss Ann. And he dance a little jig and he do a little two-step. Huh? Yes, a boss, right? That's what black men do to get with white women or Latinas. Huh? Not black women, no. Why did Mr. Z play all of those clips in succession? Because if you listen to Lene's framing, black men don't value black women. And we lack the capacity. But when black women are with white men, them white men be loving them down. Meanwhile, here's white men right here telling you, hey, y'all don't need to worship us, bro. Uh-oh. Could you stop calling us massa? Uh-oh. The comedian Jeff telling you he's having a conversation with a black woman and she's talking down about black men. Wait, I thought y'all didn't do that. I thought that was a black man thing. I thought black men insulted black women behind black women's back when black men are with Latinas or with a white woman or with an Asian woman. But black women know how to keep it, right? Black women don't express their anger and their rage at black men, especially not in front of white men. Meanwhile, this white comedian exposing. Huh? What happened? What else did Mr. Z play? A black woman straight up telling you, when we put black men through, or what black men put up with, these non-black men aren't gonna put up with that. What happened, Miss Lene? What happened? I did this short notice. You know how many clips Mr. Z has in archive with black women telling you straight up, hey, look, these white guys, you see all that stuff we be telling black men about our weight and you can't help it and your diet. Yeah, them white guys ain't going. So if you're trying to pull a white guy, you got to lose the weight. Oh, wait a minute. You got the discipline for the white men, but not for black men. Huh? There's clips of black women straight up telling them, oh, that resting B face that we have for black men. Yeah, if you try to pull a non-black man, you got to have to smile. What happened, Lene? Oh, you can't tell us because we have all these stresses on our shoulders and all this pressure. And it's a lot to be a black woman in this society. But when you're trying to pull out white man, you gotta break a smile. What happened? Huh? Lene, y'all could throw out as many FD signifiers if y'all want. Y'all could call out the big guns. You could call out former President Barack Obama. We not going. The idea that black women are morally superior to black men, we not going, and y'all can't make us go. Go get it from the white man then. The idea that black men are dating out and marrying out because they're chasing after. They're bowing and scraping for them Latinas and those white women, and if they can catch them, an Asian man or Asian woman, goddamn Z, right? Gotta include the LGBTQ stuff, because you remember, we more LGBTQ than straight. If you check out her channel, if you what event was it? And they had the LGBTQ brother talking and all that other stuff. Mr. Z might cover it. Pause. We'll see. With that, this idea that black men are dating out because they hate black women. Let's say it again. Black men are dating out because they hate black women. Black women date out because they don't have a choice. Look, they're trying to find someone who's on their educational level, not enough black men there. Their financial level, not enough black men there. That have their same humanitarian spirit, not enough black men doing that or have that. That see the value in them, not enough black men, right? Isn't that the framing? Huh? So whether it's these supposed leftist, progressive black folks, huh? These activists, whether it's the divestors, at the end of the day, they're all saying the same thing. The leftists and progressives and activists don't have the ovaries to say it the way the divestors are saying it, but y'all all come to the same conclusion. Black men are defective. There's something wrong with black men. Black men don't value black women. And so we just go and date out. Okay, yeah, that's it. To the same white men who help to perpetuate the system. But it's different. See, Z, he doesn't perpetuate the system, Z, because he's in a relationship with me, a black woman. How can he be racist, Z, if he's in a relationship with a black woman? Okay, yeah, that's it. Huh? And Lene said black men hate to see black women being loved on. Black men hate to see y'all just hate to see black women being loved on. You think we hate to see black women being loved on? Or is it that black women, often like you, ma'am, have all this smoke for black men? However you want to intellectualize your misandry, you could do that. You, Kim Foster, all the rest of you. Y'all can intellectualize your misandry however you want when it comes to black men. Huh? You can hide behind the 4 and 5 syllable words all you want. At the end of the day, it comes down to the same thing. The white peen and being validated by a white man. Having your femininity validated by a white man. You could try to tell black men, oh, that's not what it is. Yes, it is. It's not hatred of seeing black women get loved on. It's black women hiding their contempt for their social and political position in the society behind that white husband. Huh? Yikes. You know, it's too easy. Lene says she thinks it's kind of maybe government orchestrated, this kind of discrediting of black voices with white spouses. Nah, you really mean black women with white spouses, because y'all don't give credit to many black men that have a white spouse. Y'all look at him sideways. And Mr. Z is okay with that. As long as we look at black women with white spouses sideways. I'm okay with it. Oh, but we can't do that to black women, because you see, the moral high ground of black women dictates that we look at black men suspiciously if he has a non-black spouse. A black woman with a non-black spouse, you have to understand, like, she tried, but black men are not on her level, and too many black men, as much as they talk about being pro-black, they're really pro-black men, and they don't really have the humanitarian spirit, and you have to understand, she ended up with this white man, but he really loves her down, and yawn. Lene, we don't buy it. Maybe FD buys it. Maybe Conscious Lee buys it. Maybe Deontay buys it. Huh? If y'all want to go over there with the non-black dudes, particularly the white men, so be it. But black men don't owe you believing this moral high ground crap. Huh? We're the ultimate victims. Isn't that what Dr. Tyne said? Black women are the ultimate victims. And so because of that, and standpoint theory, everything has to be seen through their purview, or you are on the wrong side of history. If you don't believe that black women are morally superior to black men, you're on the wrong side of history. If you don't believe that black men are out here chasing and scraping and bowing and begging any non-black woman to give them a chance, while black women, on the other hand, just organically meet the non-black dude, mainly white guy, and they just fall in love. If you don't buy into that narrative, then you're on the wrong side of history. Huh? Black men do not buy into it. Now what? What y'all gonna do about it? Huh? That's a real question. Miss Lene, what are y'all going to do about it? I see we got a little bit more. Mr. Z gonna probably play this another couple of times, but here we go. Shout out to all of you. The link is in the description box for the replay gang. But they'll be able to watch it on this also, right? Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And shout out to the replay gang. And let's play one more again.
Hey, so I wasn't going to address this at all in the slightest, because it's quite literally the silliest thing that I've ever seen or heard, and it just seems to be one person trying their damnedest to pester me on all of my social media platforms through ghost accounts. But they're trying so hard to start this one particular rumor. I'm beginning to think it's the feds, and that this is their new version of trying to discredit black voices. So yeah, somebody is commenting on my threads, on my Instagram, on my TikToks, on my Facebook even. I feel like there was something else, maybe even YouTube, talking about she only dates white men. She's another one of those black activists that only dates white men. And just to set the record straight, I love me a trapping ass, dark skinned country ass, got it out of the mud, old thug 6'1", whatever the hell else Gorilla said ass. Haven't dated a white boy since 7th grade, and I immediately reneged on the yes that I gave when he asked me to be his girlfriend. Immediately. But even if I did, this brings me to the Nicolandria situation that I'll probably be talking about tomorrow in the parking lot. But y'all hate for black women to be loved on. We can't win, you know, because it's hard out here for us to win the affections. And win is such a crazy word. I hate that we have to say it. But it's hard out here for us to find a match. That's a black man, period. And so when some women find a white man, you do all of this work to discredit that love or even discredit her work because...
Let's address that. It's hard for a black woman to find a black man that's a match. But when these black women end up with a white man, you imagine. Let's slow down. Let's slow down. With this nation's history, you have a dark-skinned black woman. Don't let the makeup fool you, right? And by the way, I have her commentary sped up, so she doesn't actually speak that fast. And Mr. Z sped it up a little bit. You have a darker-skinned black woman who's telling you that it's difficult for black women to meet a black man that's a match. But it's cakewalk and easy to meet a white man that's a match? Even though black women constitute, what, 6.5%, give or take, of the U.S. population, and white men constitute somewhere around 25 to 30-ish% of the U.S. population. This is out of 340 some odd million people. And yet black women are saying black men are difficult. It's difficult to find a black man that's a match. Meanwhile, 5 times as many white men as black women in this country, give or take. And where are the white guys chasing after black women in any significant number? Huh? So black men, it's difficult to find a match that's a black man. Meanwhile, black women are like some 6.5, 6-ish%, maybe close to 7% of the US population. White men are like 25 to 30%. So 4 and 5 times more. And yet, I don't see, maybe it's Z, maybe where Lene resides, white men are chasing after black women left and right. It's black women that are beating off the white men with a broom. No, I want me a black man. Yeah, that's it. Huh? Yikes. Lene, it's easy to discredit, right? Because let's go with what you're saying. Let's go with it. There, I think this is the government trying to discredit black voices. First, you really mean black women because y'all don't care what black men with white spouses have to say. Okay, cool. Unless they kiss an ass, of course. They got a super bow and beg and scream. Okay, let's go with it. It's some type of government. All right. It's easy to discredit because everybody know the playbook. A black woman who claims she's pro-black. She claims she's about the black community. And she's just so happened to fall in love with the white spouse. Huh? And much of that just so happened to fall in love with the white spouse is because the black men in her circles just didn't value her, especially if she's a darker skinned black woman. They just didn't know, they didn't value her. They don't know how to appreciate her. And the white man does it. He saw the value in her. He elevated her. Huh? That's the framing. That's the narrative. And what y'all are dealing with, Miss Lene, is that more and more black men are just like, yeah, we just don't buy it. And you know what? Actually go end up with that white guy over there. The Latino, the Asian, if you could get them. If you say they value you and they see the value in you that a black man doesn't, prove it. Where's the wedding ring? Oh, goddamn. We just don't buy it. And to hell with what Deontay got to say about it. She said, I had both perspectives up there, and the man's perspective was Deontay Kyle. Wow. She said, if you want to see what we still have to say about interracial relationships, I had both perspectives represented, and the man's perspective was Deontay Kyle. Oh my God. I had both perspectives up there. I had the Nazi and I had the small hat. During World War II, in the middle of the concentration camp. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. I had both perspectives. Yeah, okay. All right. Continuing.
Hey, so I wasn't going to address this at all in the slightest because it's quite literally the silliest thing that I've ever seen or heard, and it just seems to be one person trying their damnedest to pester me on all of my social media platforms through ghost accounts. But they're trying so hard to start this one particular rumor. I'm beginning to think it's the feds, and that this is their new version of trying to discredit Black voices. So yeah, somebody has commented on my threads, on my Instagram, on my TikToks, on my Facebook even. I feel like there was something else. Maybe even YouTube, talking about she only dates white men. She's another one of those Black activists that only dates white men. And just to set the record straight, I love me a trapping ass, dark skinned country ass, got it out of the mud, old thug 6'1", whatever the hell else gorilla said ass. Haven't dated a white boy since 7th grade, and I immediately reneged on the yes that I gave when he asked me to be his girlfriend. Immediately. But even if I did, this brings me to the Nicolandria situation that I'll probably be talking about tomorrow in the parking lot. But y'all hate for Black women to be loved on. We can't win, you know, because it's hard out here for us to win the affections. And win is such a crazy word. I hate that we have to say it. But it's hard out here for us to find a match. That's a Black man, period. And so when some women find a white man, you do all of this work to discredit that love or even discredit her work because she's being loved by a white man. When in fact, the reality is Black women who do find white men attractive and can do that sort of whatever, what have you, they be loving us down because they're obsessed. They're obsessed with us culturally. But we do shit they've never seen before and their minds are blown. They appreciate us in far larger capacities than Black men can. And in a lot of instances, because Black men are so close to our sacrifice and so desensitized to our sacrifice that a lot of times it gets trifled over and trampled on and all the things. So yeah, I like Negroes with nostrils.
You imagine. Look, Lene, as much as I've disagreed with you, you do pretty well not to contort yourself into a knot to make a point. But here, Miss Lene, oh boy, you became a whole pretzel. Huh? You imagine saying white men that are with Black women or that have had sex with Black women are obsessed with them? Black women keep on with this. The white men, the non-Black men, they worship us. They're obsessed with us. She said the word obsessed. She used the word obsessed. You live in America. I don't care if a white man brings you the moon to your front door. To say the word obsessed with the racial dynamics in America, when Trump just shredded the goddamn social safety net that's going to disproportionately affect Black people, Black women negatively. And in that country, you saying the white men that are with Black women are obsessed with them? Huh? Yikes. JD Vance is similar age to Z. JD Vance has a South Asian wife, not a Black wife. Huh? Obsessed, you said. Obsessed. All the white leftist and liberal men, where are their Black wives? You said obsessed. You said they be loving Black women down. I mean, if you mean literally loving, and that's really a euphemism for getting piped. Huh? Nice euphemism for getting D down by the white guy. So, it's difficult to find a Black man that's a match. Meanwhile, the white men are upset. In America, with America's history, it's difficult to find a Black man that's a match while simultaneously saying to us that the white men that are in relationship or situationship, whatever ship, with Black women are obsessed with them and are loving them down. Okay, yeah, that's it. Huh? Which goes to the other young lady that was on the show with you that did the whole, when I see a black man with a white woman, I can't help it. I look at him like, oh, you're weak. But when I see a black woman with a white man, oh, you gave in. What's just, I don't know how FD and them do it. Shout out to you, FD. Shout out to you, Consciously. Shout out to you, Foreign Man in a Foreign Land. Shout out to you, Little Bill. Y'all are in spaces with black women like this. And when the subject of sex and interracial relationship and just relationship amongst black people come up, y'all sit there and let black women talk like this in your presence. And you nod along with it, Deontay. Y'all sit there and go along with black women looking you in the face and saying the most hypocritical nonsense ever and standing on it and daring you to say something about it, and your coward ass actually say, yeah, you right, mama. You right. In the black community, you are not a G, you are not hard, you are not tough by going in on black men. That does not show that you have any sense of manhood or masculinity, or you're tough, or none of that. That's easy. That's cakewalk. The real G's in the black community say something to black women. Ooh, goddamn. Don't that sound backwards? Yes, because the black community is backwards. Oops. You will see 5'8", 5'9", scrawny ass black men stand up to 6'3", built like the Hulk ass black men for black women, but he won't say nothing to that black woman. Ooh, goddamn. That black woman could delete his firstborn. He won't say nothing to her, but he'll stand up to that 6'4" Hulk of a man that's gonna put a foot up his ass. For a wayward black woman, he'll do anything for that wayward black woman. Lene, we just don't buy it. That moral high ground, that hypocrisy that black women like to spew because you believe that you're on the right side of history, and everyone who's not in lockstep with you and that's not kissing your ass is a hindrance to your liberation and your justice. Huh? Lene, go ahead and date out if you want to do that. Huh? You don't got to tell us how much you into, southern darker skinned brothers with the nostrils. Yeah, we heard you. Yeah, okay, cool. But this idea that black women stand on, whether they're in a relationship with a black man or in a relationship with a not black man, this idea that black men date out because black men hate what they see in the mirror. Black men don't value black women. Black men are colorist, texturist, featurist. Black men are fat phobic. You tell me who's with more fat black women than black men. Meanwhile, white men, you have to understand, he values me and he understands my plights, and he gets it, and he's so kind, and he values me, and he elevates me, and he edifies me. Yawn.
Hey, so I wasn't going to address this at all in the slightest because it's quite literally the silliest thing that I've ever seen or heard, and it just seems to be one person trying their damnedest to pester me on all of my social media platforms through ghost accounts. But they're trying so hard to start this one particular rumor. I'm beginning to think it's the feds, and that this is their new version of trying to discredit black voices. So yeah, somebody is commenting on my threads, on my Instagram, on my TikToks, on my Facebook even. I feel like there was something else, maybe even YouTube, talking about she only dates white men. She's another one of those black activists that only dates white men. And just to set the record straight, I love me a trapping ass, dark skinned country ass, got it out of the mud, old thug 6'1", whatever the hell else gorilla said ass. Haven't dated a white boy since 7th grade, and I immediately reneged on the yes that I gave when he asked me to be his girlfriend. Immediately. But even if I did, this brings me to the Nicolandria situation that I'll probably be talking about tomorrow in the parking lot. But y'all hate for black women to be loved on. We can't win, you know, because it's hard out here for us to win the affections. And win is such a crazy word. I hate that we have to say it. But it's hard out here for us to find a match. That's a black man, period. And so when some women find a white man, you do all of this work to discredit that love, or even discredit her work because she's being loved by a white man. When in fact, the reality is black women who do find white men attractive and can do that sort of whatever, what have you, they be loving us down because they're obsessed. They're obsessed with us culturally. But we do shit they've never seen before. Their minds are blown. They appreciate us in far larger capacities than black men can. And in a lot of instances, because black men are so close to our sacrifices, so desensitized.
They be loving us in a way, in a capacity that black men don't or can't, or however she said it. Woo! This is what happened when you're in your echo chamber. Whether it's online, whether it's offline. Lene looked like she's, traveling and doing her thing. You're in your echo chambers. That's frightening. Whether she's desirous to be with a black man or a white man, she's in these echo chambers, both online and offline, and they're just regurgitating this thing to each other over and over again, Well, the white man, when you with the white man, he obsessed with you, he be loving you down. And they're in these echo chambers, and they just keep on spewing this thing to each other. And so when they exit that and give their little commentary, they sound like Lene here. The white men love black women down, while simultaneously saying to mainly black men, y'all hate to see a black woman getting loved on. In America's history, everyone. When did white men ever struggle to get vagina from a black woman? Somebody let me know. In America, she's saying this. Huh? So black men hate to see black women being loved on, while simultaneously saying, these white men that are in relationships with black women, they're obsessed with black women. Not that they simply find a black woman attractive or they find her smart or appealing, she's interesting. No, they are obsessed with a black woman or with black women. And they be loving black women down. Whew. Sometimes what's a bit frustrating about this conversation is when you realize these folks' talking points and their rhetoric hasn't changed once in like 4 and 5 decades. That's the frightening part. What Lene is saying, you could put her in the early aughts, it would sound the exact same. You could put her in the 90s, she would sound the exact same. You could put her in the 80s, she will sound the exact same. You put her in the 70s, she will sound the exact same. These folks, these black women that sound like Lene, have not changed what they're saying or the overall message in decades concerning black men, black women, and black women, white men. In decades. And that's frightening. Black men have surveyed the landscape. Black men have seen what works. Black men have modified what they're saying. We've acquired new information. We adjust what we're saying as we acquire new information. We've dropped old bad habits. We've picked up good habits. Black women, on the other hand, like Miss Lene, have said the same thing, regardless of if it works, if it's accurate or not, for decades. Once again, the idea that black women are morally superior and they are on the right side of history, and they're the ones who bring out the human spirit in anyone they touch. You lack any type of human capacity, any capacity for human rights or civil rights or understanding of justice and liberation until you come in contact with a black woman. If you didn't come in contact with a black woman, how the hell do you know how to breathe? Forget tying your own shoes. How do you know how to breathe if you didn't come in contact with a black woman? Huh? How do you know how to blink? Huh? Wow. That's frightening. Huh? Wow. Continuing.
Hey, so I wasn't going to address this at all in the slightest because it's quite literally the silliest thing that I've ever seen or heard, and it just seems to be one person trying their damnedest to pester me on all of my social media platforms through ghost accounts. But they're trying so hard to start this one particular rumor. I'm beginning to think it's the feds, and that this is their new version of trying to discredit Black voices. So yeah, somebody has commented on my threads, on my Instagram, on my TikToks, on my Facebook even. I feel like there was something else. Maybe even YouTube, talking about she only dates white men. She's another one of those Black activists that only dates white men. And just to set the record straight, I love me a trapping ass, dark skinned country ass, got it out of the mud, old thug 6'1", whatever the hell else gorilla said ass. Haven't dated a white boy since 7th grade, and I immediately reneged on the yes that I gave when he asked me to be his girlfriend. Immediately. But even if I did, this brings me to the Nicolandria situation that I'll probably be talking about tomorrow in the parking lot. But y'all hate for Black women to be loved on. We can't win, because it's hard out here for us to win the affections. And win is such a crazy word. I hate that we have to say it. But it's hard out here for us to find a match. That's a Black man, period. And so when some women find a white man, you do all of this work to discredit that love or even discredit her work because she's being loved by a white man. When in fact, the reality is Black women who do find white men attractive and can do that sort of whatever, what have you, they be loving us down because they're obsessed. They're obsessed with us culturally. But we do shit they've never seen before and their minds are blown. They appreciate us in far larger capacities than Black men can. And in a lot of instances, because Black men are so close to our sacrifice and so desensitized to our sacrifice that a lot of times it gets trifled over and trampled on and all the things. So yeah,
Black men are so desensitized to Black women's sacrifices that it gets trampled over. Here's another way to see it. Black women, being the furthest away from the European ideal, for many of them, no matter how much of activists they are and pro-Black they are, air quotes pro-Black they are, the only one who can truly validate their femininity is a white man. You might as well say the same thing your Asian sister are saying, because at least Asian women, for many of them, they'll just be honest about it. Huh? Black women are trying to have their feet in both camps. You can't have your feet in both camps. Lene, just come out and be honest about it. The more Black women read, the more quote unquote pro-Black women are, the more they realize that they're not going to be a white woman ever politically and socially. And so they now they have a choice to make. That's why you hear some of them calling themselves queer, because if you can't be a white woman, then you might as well be queer. Because you're going to have a strange, weird, different type of relationship. Whether it's with a man or not. Okay, fine. The other ones of them, the cowards who don't want to admit that this is what they're on, realize that the only way they can have their femininity validated is by being with a white man, because who else is going to make you a real woman other than a white man? You can't end up with a man of color, definitely not a Black man. He's not a man. He's man not. Huh? And the weight of this Black thing is so heavy. Huh? Yikes. Exactly, Passport OG. White men be loving us down. You imagine? And she said white men be obsessed. You imagine? And Black men are supposed to do what with this? Oh, I forgot. Know our position, know our place behind Black women, worshiping at the altar of Black women to show them that we value them. Huh? Oh, I didn't know anything about this. And Saint Cyr says Nick and Orlandria situation is Black women, white men, fan fiction portrayed in TV. Okay, oh boy. So she said they're about to cover that? Okay. I didn't know anything about it. Huh? And so it's just black women doing the same thing they've been doing for decades, saying the same thing they've been saying for decades. Look, it's different when we were. Look, it's different. It's different. It's different when we're with white men. Look, white men really value us. When we're with white men, it's different than when black men are with white women. Huh? When we're with white men, it's because they're chasing after us and they really value us and they love us and they know that our sacrifices and they're obsessed with us and they be letting us down. Okay, yeah, that's it. But black men, black men are with white women because black men are colorist, featurist, texturist, hate their mom, hate dark skin, yawn, huh? So on that note, y'all, I'm not gonna make this a couple of hour long stream. Ain't no point. I just want to respond to that. I did get an email from a young lady from something I covered a couple years ago of Lexus Exodus. I'll get to it later on. I might do a stream later on today. I know I was supposed to cover the Tone Talks thing today. Y'all gonna have to bear with. We might get to that tomorrow, right? Yeah. Oh man, Vic. Vic. I am not trying to read that. Jesus. Listen, Lene, I gotta read it. It's a super chat. It's customs. And Victor Creed says, and thank you for the super chat. He says, "Play in the snow, be left in the cold." Oh man. Huh? Jesus. Grab second gear. Eddie says, grab second gear says, did she say white men are obsessed with them? Hey, you heard what you heard. Huh? You heard what you heard. Let's play one more again.
Hey, so I wasn't going to address this at all in the slightest because it's quite literally the silliest thing that I've ever seen or heard, and it just seems to be one person trying their damnedest to pester me on all of my social media platforms through ghost accounts. But they're trying so hard to start this one particular rumor. I'm beginning to think it's the feds, and that this is their new version of trying to discredit black voices. So yeah, somebody is commenting on my threads, on my Instagram, on my TikToks, on my Facebook even. I feel like there was something else. Maybe even YouTube talking about she only dates white men. She's another one of those black activists that only dates white men. And just to set the record straight, I love me a trapping ass, dark skinned country ass, got it out of the mud, old thug 6'1", whatever the hell else Gorilla said ass. Haven't dated a white boy since 7th grade, and I immediately reneged on the yes that I gave when he asked me to be his girlfriend. Immediately. But even if I did, this brings me to the Nicolandria situation that I'll probably be talking about tomorrow in the parking lot. But y'all hate for black women to be loved on. We can't win, because it's hard out here for us to win the affections. And win is such a crazy word. I hate that we have to say it. But it's hard out here for us to find a match. That's a black man, period. And so when some women find a white man, you do all of this work to discredit that love or even discredit her work because she's being loved by a white man. When in fact, the reality is black women who do find white men attractive and can do that sort of whatever, what have you, they be loving us down because they're obsessed. They're obsessed with us culturally. But we do shit they've never seen before and their minds are blown. They appreciate us in far larger capacities than black men can. And in a lot of instances, because black men are so close to our sacrifice and so desensitized to our sacrifice that a lot of times it gets trifled over and trampled on and all the things. So yeah, I like Negroes with nostrils exclusively. And I actually did a whole episode about interracial dating from both perspectives on my show, The People's Brief, that you can watch on Revolt, streaming right now.
The fact that she said from both perspectives and the men's perspective was Deontay Kyle is absolutely hysterical. That's like that's the funniest thing she might have ever said in her life. The men's perspective, the other perspective, the both perspective was Deontay Kyle. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Y'all curate these bulletproof, bomb-proof ass echo chambers for yourselves. And then come out here in the real world and get sideswiped by nobody buys into black women being the moral high ground, especially amongst above black men. Huh? Exactly, Trell. Right. We hate for black women to find love. You imagine? And she said that with a straight face. Victor Creek continues and he says, obsessed with them like they are obsessed with dogs. Oh, man. Right? Yeah, the white men are obsessed with black women like the white men are obsessed with their dogs. That they chill with and they pet and they, I'm not even going to do the whole shower joke. It's too easy. Huh? So there's no reason to beat a dead horse. Y'all heard this. Shout out to you, Miss Lene. Yeah, no, it's frightening because she literally is moving and shaking. Like she literally is part of different organizations and whatnot. And you check out her page and she's traveling. She got the People's Brief. She has her own parking lot pimping series for all of us that have been checking her out for the longest. Yeah. And like these are the people. Lene is the type of person that gets called in to the next administration as a liaison for this or that, or as a person that's supposed to investigate this or that, or as a go-between between this and that. It's the Lenes, it's the Kim Fosters of the world. It's the Julesies. Y'all wonder why Mr. Z walked in the door critiquing these folks in particular. These folks are the divestors. Huh? These are the folks that are operating in the background in Kamala's campaign that you don't know about. It'd be the Lenes. Huh? It'd be whether you realize it or not, it'd be the Lenes are the ones that work for the NAACP or something like that. Huh? It'd be Lene. It'd be Kim Foster. It'd be Simone Sanders. It'll be Julesy. It's women like that. And then you wonder why you see all of these set-asides for black women and girls, and black men are just supposed to get it out the mud and follow behind black women. Huh? Yikes. And Victor Creed, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Yikes. And Mike and Vince Perkins says, that's Lene from Revolt. Yeah, the one that just did their interview. Yeah, that's her. Huh? So I cover this because you can see, and okay, I believe her. She's only dealt with black men. She finds black men attractive. That's her speed. Okay, cool. I believe her. I have no reason not to believe her. She seems a little flustered because she knows what this means for her reputation and her credibility, as you should be. Ooh, damn. You should be flustered. You should feel like this is a threat to your credibility because it should be a threat to your credibility. Too many black women, and just like how you saw what it was. Ooh, I don't want them to put me over there with them black women that stay talking this pro-black stuff, but they got white husbands and spouses. Yes, you should feel a certain way about it because me and you both know that too many black women have been coming out here talking real reckless, and then we did. Oh, you got a white husband. Oh, okay. Y'all remember the story of the white dude that was what was he in the corner store talking crazy to the black kids? Did they find out he got a black wife? Huh? Was that a few years ago, right? That was what, 2-3 years ago, maybe 4? I think it was more like 3 some odd years ago. Yes, Lene, yes. You should feel a certain way because the majority of us out here in the real world, we don't buy into this moral high ground that black women somehow magically they have non-black spouses, white spouses, and they don't have no anti-black sentiments. Huh? The police officer down here in South Florida a few years ago, it was more than a few years ago at this point, sending racist text messages to his co-workers, other fellow police officers, come to find out he has a black girlfriend. Lene, it's happening too often. Huh? I think Only Logical covered it, but I never forgot that story. But Only Logical covered it a little while ago. Then she turn around and marry a white man. Lene, too many of these black women are getting caught up by white dude. We finding out, oh wait, this white dude is racist. He's anti-black. Oh, he got a black girlfriend. Uh-oh. He got a black wife. Uh-oh. Remember, these are the same white guys. Lene, you said be loving y'all down. Huh? Yikes. So, all right, y'all. Look, we hit an hour. I was about to say we're about to hit an hour. No, we actually did hit an hour. So we'll pause right there. Truly, this is my like third or fourth closing. Don't tell better you. He counting. Yeah. I just wanted to play that for y'all. Respond to it. Let her know we disagree. And now what? So we'll pause right there. Truly, love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content. For the love of God, I think the Roger Report should be streaming. I'm not sure if Dr. Thunder is still streaming. Yeah, y'all. So I will really try. Maybe later on today, if not tomorrow. We'll cover the Tone Talks stream. We might go a little doomer. Yeah, tomorrow. So it'll be a little bit more serious conversation. We'll be talking money, Black people, retirement, right? Yeah, and what your parents are leaving you. For most of us, we get left a sock and a rock. Oh man, right? Inheritance. What's that? Inherit who? Sounds sexual. In her, what? Anyway, okay, y'all. This is done joking. All right, y'all. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day. As I said, I think the Roger Report is streaming. Dr. Thunder might still be streaming, so we'll end out there. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content, for the love of God. All right, Mr. Z out, everyone.